Expatriates placed in India face massive challenges, with the failure rate for assignees twice that of other locations.
This can be due to many reasons, including standard of living, language differences, cultural differences, and the differences in how both people and businesses operate. Assisting assignees in being able to adapt to their new environment is therefore crucial if an expatriate is to be successful.
As Indians working for PRD IT, Jessica, Samara, and I, Laura, have been sourced to help highlight the challenges that will be encountered in an expatriate's personal and business life, as well as how management can be responsible in preparing and supporting the assignee and their family.
Expatriates moving from Zurich to New Delhi will find the change very challenging, with India offering such a different environment, geographically, culturally, and experience-wise. India is a diverse and robust country that is always on the move, which is far different from Switzerland's structured environment with strict guidelines on day-to-day activities. India is the 7th largest country in the world, with a total land area of 2.9 million square kilometres. The country's climate of dry conditions and extreme heats are strongly influenced by the topography of the Himalayas and the Thar Desert. Meanwhile, in Switzerland, the total land area is 41,290 square kilometres, 60% of which is mountains and is surrounded by forests, creating a temperate and relaxing climate. In India, Hindi is the most commonly spoken language. However, many Indians learn English at a young age to be able to move to English-speaking countries or trade within their country. In Switzerland, German is the most commonly spoken language. However, other languages, including English, are widely used. India's most commonly practiced religion is Hindu, whereas Switzerland is Roman Catholic.
As a fast-paced environment, India is a crowded and sometimes challenging environment, especially when situations involve large crowds and transportation. There are a variety of means of transportation ranging from trains, tuk-tuks, cycle rickshaws, taxis and buses. Despite the range of transportation available, however, India ranked number 1 in the Biggest Challenges 2015 survey for having the most challenging transportation for expatriates. India's transportation will be vastly different compared to the timely transportation that Zurich offers. The infrastructure of India is one of concern, with decades of underinvestment that has resulted in leaving the country with dire deficits in such critical areas such as railways, roads, ports, airports, telecommunications, and electricity generation. In the World Economic Forum's Global Competitiveness Report for 2011 to 2012, India ranked 89th out of 142 countries for its infrastructure. The report criticized its transport, ICT, and energy infrastructure as largely insufficient and ill-adapted to the needs of business. India is recognized as a male-dominated society, with gender roles commonly described as patriarchal. Indians who have had more exposure to international dealings will be more used to dealing with women. Older men will usually be more traditional and less open, however. There is lower female participation in the workforce in India. The Global Gender Gap ranking provides an insight into individual countries' workforce gender equality. The highest possible score is 1, and the ranking is out of 144 countries. In this table, Switzerland is ranked number 11 compared to India, which is ranked at 87. Taking into consideration this comparison of the two countries' environment, geographics, and cultural elements, it can be fairly deduced that a Swiss expatriate entering India on assignment would experience some difficulties adjusting to their new environment and surroundings.
When finding strategies for integrating our company into India, it was found that Trumpenar's 7 dimensions was a suitable fit for the diverse cultures New Delhi and Zurich display. These dimensions are grouped into 3 aspects: relationships between people, concepts of time, and concepts of nature. Relationships between people is broken down into 5 dimensions. The first dimension is universalism versus particularism, and it explains how culture relates to rules and expectations. Zurich displays universalism behaviour, meaning they have very rigid expectations of laws, processes, and structure. Meanwhile, New Delhi follow a particularism of behaviour, where people depend on relationships within the business environment, with time being spent in social discussions and outings. The second dimension, individualism versus communitarianism, compares how the two cultures relate to other people. Individualism emphasises on the individual, direct family, and their own decision making. Communitarianism emphasises the importance of relationships, loyalty, and the safety of group decisions. Zurich hold individualism values, with employment relationships being based on mutual advantages and hiring and promotions based on merit. While New Delhi is more complicated, they can relate to individualism due to religions such as Hindu, but also can relate to communitarianism, with their employment relationships based on expectations and loyalty. Relationships dictate hiring and promotional decisions. The third dimension is emotional versus neutral. In the emotional dimension, emotions are clearly expressed, welcomed, and accepted across many social contexts, as seen in New Delhi. Indians are known for being harmonious, polite, and always saying yes, even if they cannot meet expectations, and they do not react well to aggression. On the other hand, neutral means business is objective, efficient, and not open to emotion, as seen in Zurich. The fourth dimension is specific versus diffused, and this shows how people view processes. Zurich has a very specific approach. They like precision, objective analysis of circumstances, and personal and professional life is separated. India is relatively a diffused culture. They are relationship focused and prefer rapport before talking business, with little separation of business and private life. They enjoy spending time outside of work hours, building relationship with colleagues and clients. The fifth dimension is ascription versus achievement. The Swiss are achievement based, as you are judged on your achievement and your performance, while Indians are ascription based. For this culture, status is ascribed from birth, and our hierarchy is formed by age, seniority, status, credentials, and gender, and this is due to the caste system. However, they are heading to a more achievement-based in recent years. The second aspect is the concept of time, which contains the sixth dimension, sequential versus synchronic, which highlight the difference on time management. Zurich like events to happen in order, putting high value on punctuality, planning, schedules, and overall value of time. India operate more in a synchronic concept of time. They like to multitask and view plans and commitments as flexible, and are known for their IST, which is India's stretchable time. They are often experience delays and unreliable in getting things done by deadline. The third aspect is the concept of nature and the final dimensions of internal versus external control. Zurich is internal. They believe they control nature and their environment through clear objectives. India is external. They believe that their nature and environment control them, and they try to avoid conflict and mainly focus on others.
In order for PRD IT to overcome these issues, it is important that the assignee take time to build relationships, highlight any important policies that need to be followed, praise and reward group performance, praise individuals privately, allow involvement in the decision-making process, build trust and rapport, use emotion to communicate objectives, maintain a positive attitude and body language. Build relationships before focusing on business objectives. Find out about the people you will work with and do business with. Try to avoid turning down invitations to social functions. Be flexible in work approach and on tasks and projects. Highlight the importance of punctuality and deadlines, but be prepared that they might be missed. It is also recommended that PRD IT provides a means of transportation for the expatriate and their family. In many cases, a vehicle and a driver is supplied to expats living in India. When selecting a candidate to send on a cross-cultural assignment, it is important to select someone who will fit in with the country that they are being sent to. Ideally, a candidate should display empathy, respect, interest in local culture, tolerance or tolerance for ambiguity, flexibility, initiative, open-mindedness, sociability, and positive self-image. Once a candidate has been chosen, PRD IT should provide what is known as pre-departure training. This usually involves cultural awareness training, which is a briefing of the environmental and cultural orientation and sensitivity training. Preliminary visits. This assists the family to determine if they think they'll fit, to look at housing, schools, etc. Language training. If you can speak the native language, you are much more likely to be successful. Assistance with day-to-day matters. This includes relocation matters, accommodation, schools, and so on.
For assignee success, the selected candidate should be able to thrive in ambiguity, going from a highly structured work environment and lifestyle in Zurich to the chaos of New Delhi. A Swiss national is likely to find themselves very frustrated, which is of course one of the first indicators that the assignment is in trouble.
It is therefore crucial that the selected individual and their family is able to withstand ambiguity, is willing to spend the time necessary building relationships, has excellent communication skills, and is able to work within India's stretchable concept of time. The chosen assignee should be motivated and open-minded by the opportunity to try a completely new experience and culture than what they're accustomed to. Have a curious and inquisitive nature to try new things, and a non-judgmental attitude.
Remember, send the right candidate, set realistic expectations, provide support to the whole family through cross-cultural training, language training, and residential support. Thank you.